The eviction notice sits on my kitchen counter next to a half-eaten sleeve of crackers, which counts as dinner these days. 30 days to vacate. The yellow paper might as well be a neon sign screaming, "You failed." I stare at it while sitting on the floor because the furniture is gone. Everything is gone. The refrigerator hums empty except for expired milk and a jar of pickles. 7 months ago, I had a 4-bedroom house in Naperville, a husband who adored me, 2 cars in the garage, and a life that made sense. Now I have 30 days to figure out where to go with nothing but regret and a broken Honda Civic that barely runs. The Civic's check engine light has been on for 3 months. Gregory would have fixed it immediately. He kept spreadsheets for car maintenance, knew exactly when to change the oil, rotate the tires, replace the brake pads. Now I just turn the radio up louder when the engine makes that grinding noise. I did this to myself, every single bit of it. It started 15 months ago when I turned 36. Something about that number hit different than 35. Maybe it was seeing my younger sister Melissa post photos from her trip to Greece while I was scheduling another Tuesday night book club meeting. Maybe it was realizing that my biggest excitement that week was trying a new flavor of yogurt. Greek honey vanilla, if you're wondering. Gregory and I had been married for 11 years, together for 14. We had our routines down to a science. Wednesday was grocery shopping at Whole Foods. Friday was pizza night from Antonio's. Saturday mornings we'd go to the farmer's market, where Gregory would buy me sunflowers from the same vendor who'd been there the day he proposed. Sunday was meal prep. Every week, the same thing. Gregory was a good man, the kind who remembered to put the toilet seat down and brought me tea without being asked. Earl Grey with 1 sugar, a splash of milk. He worked as an accountant for a medical supply company, came home at 5:30 every day, and was perfectly content to watch documentaries about World War II while I scrolled through my phone. He'd gain 15 pounds every winter, lose 10 in spring, gain them back by fall. His idea of spontaneity was suggesting we try the new Thai place instead of our usual Chinese takeout. I loved him. Or I thought I did. Looking back now from my empty apartment, I realize I loved the safety of him. The predictability, the knowledge that he'd always be there. Like a piece of furniture you've had so long you don't even see it anymore. The thoughts started creeping in during those long evenings. What if this was it? What if I spent the next 40 years doing the exact same things with the exact same person? What if I died having only slept with 3 men in my entire life? What if there was more out there and I was too scared to find it? I remember the exact moment the dissatisfaction crystallized. We were at Melissa's birthday dinner, some trendy restaurant in Chicago where they served drinks in mason jars, and the lights were Edison bulbs. Her new boyfriend was there, a photographer who traveled the world for National Geographic. He was telling stories about swimming with sharks in South Africa, camping under the northern lights in Norway. Gregory was talking about the new expense tracking system they'd implemented at work. "That sounds efficient," Melissa's boyfriend said politely. I wanted to crawl under the table. When did we become so boring? When did efficiency become our highest aspiration? I started reading articles about open relationships, success stories from couples who said it made their marriage stronger. People who talked about how monogamy was outdated, unnatural, how humans weren't meant to be with just one person forever. The more I read, the more it made sense. Why should we limit ourselves? Why should we let society dictate our happiness? There was this one article that stayed with me. A woman in her 40s talking about how opening her marriage saved it. "We were roommates," she wrote. "Now we're lovers again." Seeing my husband through someone else's eyes reminded me why I fell in love with him. And being desired by other men made me feel like a woman again, not just a wife. My friend Bethany had left her husband the year before. She was 41, dating guys in their 20s, posting pictures from rooftop bars and concerts. While I was debating whether to buy organic or regular milk, she was doing shots with a bassist from a band I'd never heard of. Life begins when you stop being afraid, she'd tell me over wine at her new apartment. You only get one shot at this. Her apartment was small but perfect. Exposed brick, string lights, a bar cart that cost more than my mortgage payment. She'd lost 20 pounds since her divorce, started doing yoga, got those eyelash extensions that made her look permanently awake and interested. She was the one who introduced me to the idea, really. We were at her place one Friday night. Gregory thought I was at book club, and I guess I was, just not the kind where we read. And she was showing me her dating apps. The men messaging her, the attention, the possibilities. An investment banker who wanted to fly her to Miami. An artist who painted her portrait from her profile photo. A chef who cooked her dinner wearing nothing but an apron. You know, she said, refilling my wine glass for the third time, you don't have to get divorced to experience this. Plenty of couples have arrangements. The idea latched onto the wine-fueled haze in my mind and refused to let go. I spent 3 months researching, building up my case. I made a PowerPoint presentation. Yes, really. 27 slides complete with statistics about successful open marriages, testimonials from couples, rules and boundaries we could establish. I found a TED Talk about ethical non-monogamy, downloaded books with titles like The Ethical Slut and Opening Up. I practiced my speech in the mirror, prepared for every possible objection. The night I brought it up, Gregory was assembling a new bookshelf in the living room. Just a regular Thursday evening, him in his old college t-shirt with holes in the armpits, reading instructions carefully like he did everything in his life. NPR played softly in the background. Our cat, Muffin, watched from her perch on the couch. I want to talk to you about something, I said, sitting on the couch with my laptop. He looked up, that familiar concerned expression crossing his face. The one that appeared whenever I said we needed to talk. Everything okay? Yes, actually, better than okay. I've been thinking about our future, about ways we could make our marriage even stronger. I launched into my presentation, showed him the slides, the research, the testimonials, explained how it wasn't about not loving him, but about growing as individuals. How we could have primary partnership with each other while exploring connections with others. How it would bring us closer together, add excitement to our lives. Think about it, I said, clicking through a slide with a graph about relationship satisfaction. We've been together since we were 22. We're different people now. Don't you wonder what it would be like to date as the person you've become? He listened without interrupting. When I finished, he was quiet for a long time, still holding the Allen wrench. Muffin jumped down and rubbed against his legs, like she could sense his distress. Is there someone else? He asked finally. Someone specific you want to be with? No, I lied. The word left my mouth so easily it scared me. There wasn't someone specific, but there was the idea of someone. Many someones. The thought of being desired again, of first kisses and new hands and different laughs in the dark, of being Rachel the individual, not Rachel and Gregory the unit. I need to think about this, he said. For 2 weeks, he researched on his own. I'd catch him reading articles on his tablet, bookmarking pages. We didn't talk about it, but it hung between us like a physical presence. He started sleeping on his side of the bed, no longer reaching for me in the night. Our conversations became purely functional. Did you pay the electric bill? We need more coffee, your mother called. Then one night over our usual Friday pizza, he set down his slice and looked at me. His eyes were red-rimmed like he'd been crying. Gregory never cried, not even when his father died. If this is what you need to be happy, we can try it. My heart jumped. Really? I've been reading about it. Talking to some people online who've done it. There are ways to make it work. Rules, boundaries, complete honesty. He paused, took a shaky breath. I don't want to lose you, Rachel. If this is what it takes. We spent the next month establishing ground rules. No people we knew. Always safe. Complete transparency. Check in regularly. Primary relationship comes first. We even found a therapist who specialized in polyamory, Dr. Sarah Chen, who walked us through communication strategies. Gregory took notes at every session, like he was studying for an exam on how to share his wife. Looking back, I see now that I was already breaking the spirit of these rules even as we made them. I was already on apps, swiping while we talked boundaries. I was already imagining the men I'd meet, the experiences I'd have. Gregory was trying to save our marriage. I was trying to escape it. I joined apps first. OkCupid, Bumble, Tinder, Hinge. The attention was immediate and intoxicating. Within an hour, I had 50 matches. Messages poured in. Men 15 years younger than me asking me out, calling me beautiful, sexy, intriguing. I felt like I was 25 again. Gregory watched me get ready for my first date, sitting on our bed as I tried on different dresses. The black one was too conservative, the red one, too obvious. I settled on a blue wrap dress that showed just enough. "You look beautiful," he said, but his eyes were sad. "You could date too," I reminded him, applying lipstick I'd bought specifically for this. "That's the whole point. Both of us." "I know, I'm not there yet." My first date was with a 30-year-old personal trainer named Justin. He had abs you could see through his shirt and arms that looked like they could lift me without effort. Drinks at a wine bar led to dinner at a steakhouse led to his apartment in a high-rise downtown. I won't lie. It was thrilling, different. His body was nothing like Gregory's soft stomach and familiar hands. He had muscles in places I didn't know muscles existed. His apartment was all black leather and chrome, the opposite of our cozy home with its farmer's market flowers and NPR tote bags. But afterwards, lying in a stranger's bed staring at his ceiling, I mostly felt empty. The room smelled like his cologne and nothing like home. He was already on his phone, scrolling through something that made him chuckle occasionally. I went home to find Gregory asleep on the couch, TV still on, muffin curled on his chest. He'd waited up for me. "How was it?" he asked groggily when I woke him. "Fine," I said. "Different." "Are you happy?" I should have paid attention to how he asked, not accusatory or bitter, just genuinely wanting to know if this thing that was killing him was at least making me happy. "Yes," I lied. The pattern continued. Dates every week, sometimes 2 or 3. Men who worked in finance, in tech, artists, bartenders. There was Kevin, the hedge fund manager, who took me to restaurants where appetizers cost $50. Marcus, the sculptor whose loft smelled like clay and weed. David, the divorced dad who cried after sex. Some were single, some were married, some were just looking for fun. The initial thrill would fade quickly, replaced by a desperate need for the next new thing. I became an expert at the game, knew which photos to use, how to write my bio to attract exactly what I wanted. Married and ethically non-monogamous became my identifier. I learned the lingo, the rules, the secret handshakes of the polyamory community. Meanwhile, Gregory threw himself into work, started staying late, volunteering for projects, anything to not be home when I was getting ready for another date. He joined a gym, but quit after 2 weeks, tried online dating but deleted the apps after a few days. "It's different for men," he said one night when I asked about it. We were having our mandatory weekly check-in, another suggestion from Dr. Chen. Especially men like me. 41, average-looking accountant, not a lot of interest. "You're not average-looking," I said automatically, though when I glanced up at him, I saw what others might see. The thinning hair, the tired eyes, the polo shirt tucked into khakis. When had he started looking so old? Or had he always looked like this and I'd just stopped seeing him? "It's fine," he said. "This was about making you happy." Those words should have been a warning. A neon sign blinking, "Danger ahead." But I was too caught up in my own narrative to notice. 6 months into our arrangement, I met Derek. It was at a gallery opening Bethany dragged me to. One of those events where everyone pretends to understand art while drinking free champagne. He was standing in front of a painting that looked like someone had thrown spaghetti at a canvas, tilting his head like it meant something. "I think it represents the chaos of modern dating," I said, trying to be clever. He laughed, and something in my chest fluttered. "I was going to say it looks like my nephew's art project, but yours sounds better." Derek was everything Gregory wasn't. 6'3" to Gregory's 5'9", ran marathons while Gregory got winded walking upstairs. Worked as a creative director at an advertising agency downtown, the kind of job where you wear expensive sneakers to meetings and have beer on tap in the office. He had stories about client dinners in Tokyo, award shows in Cannes, weekend trips to Cabo just because. Our chemistry was instant and intense. He made me laugh until my stomach hurt. Took me to underground concerts where bands I'd never heard of played to crowds of people cooler than I'd ever be. With him, I felt like the person I was supposed to be all along. Sophisticated, adventurous, alive. The rules started breaking. Slowly at first, then all at once. Check-ins with Gregory became perfunctory. "I'm seeing Derek tonight." Okay, that was it. No discussion of feelings, no processing together like Dr. Chen recommended. I stopped asking about his day, his life, his attempts at dating. He stopped offering. I practically lived at Derek's apartment. It was in River North, all exposed brick and modern art. The kind of place I'd dreamed about living when I was young and stupid. His bed was a California king with sheets that cost more than my car payment. His shower had multiple heads and played music through Bluetooth speakers. Even his coffee maker was better than ours. Some Italian thing that made espresso that tasted like hope. "You should just move in," Derek joked one morning, making me avocado toast with perfectly poached eggs. "Maybe I should," I said, not really joking at all. The night everything changed was a Wednesday. I was supposed to have dinner with Gregory. We'd instituted a weekly connection night at his insistence, though I'd already rescheduled twice. But Derek had gotten last-minute tickets to see the Killers at the United Center. Front row, VIP access, the kind of thing you don't turn down. "I'm really sorry," I texted Gregory. "Can we reschedule?" "This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing." He didn't respond. Not unusual. He'd gotten quieter lately, less eager to accommodate my schedule changes. I figured we'd talk when I got home. The concert was incredible. Derek and I danced, drank overpriced beer, sang along to Mr. Brightside with 20,000 other people. Afterwards, in the Uber back to his place, he pulled me close. "I love you," he said. My heart stopped. This wasn't supposed to happen. We had rules, no feelings, just fun. "I love you too," I heard myself say. When I got home the next morning, the house felt different. Too quiet, too still. Gregory's car wasn't in the driveway, which was odd for a Thursday. I found the note on the kitchen counter, next to his wedding ring. The diamond caught the morning light, throwing tiny rainbows on the wall. "Rachel, you were right. This opened my eyes to what I want in life, and it's not this. I've been offered a position with our company's London office. I leave tomorrow. I've transferred my half of the savings to your account, and will continue paying the mortgage for the next 6 months to give you time to figure things out. After that, the house will need to be sold or refinanced in your name only. I've already filed the paperwork. The divorce should be finalized in a few months. I won't be contesting anything. You can have whatever you want from the house. I honestly hope you find what you're looking for. Gregory. P.S. Muffin is at my sister's. She agreed to keep her until you can pick her up. Or not. Your choice." My hands shook as I read it again. And again. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. We were supposed to work through this together, find our way back to each other, stronger than before. That's what all the articles said. That's what Dr. Chen promised. I called him immediately. Straight to voicemail. Not even his voice on the message anymore, just the automated system, texted frantically. The messages went through but were never read. Eventually, they stopped going through at all. Blocked. I called his office. "Gregory Morrison's office. his assistant answered. "This is his wife. I need to speak to him immediately." A pause. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Morrison." "Mr. Morrison is no longer with the company. He transferred to our London office. Would you like me to forward you to someone else?" "When? When did he transfer?" "His last day was yesterday." "It was quite sudden. Is there anything else I can help you with?" I hung up. His sister Kelly, when I finally got her on the phone, was ice cold. We'd been close once, had girls' nights and shared secrets. Now she spoke to me like a telemarketer she couldn't wait to hang up on. "He doesn't want to talk to you, Rachel." "Respect that." "But he can't just disappear. We're married. We have a life together." "No," she said, "you had a life together. You chose something else." "This is insane." He agreed to this. He said what he needed to say to try to save his marriage. He gave you what you said you wanted, and you threw it in his face every single day for 6 months. Did you really think he'd stick around forever while you played house with another man? "It's not like that. You don't understand." "I understand perfectly. You wanted to have your cake and eat it too. Well, congratulations. Now you can eat all the cake you want." She hung up. I drove to Derek's apartment in a daze. He'd understand. He'd help me figure this out. We loved each other. We could make this work. He answered the door in boxers and a t-shirt, looking confused. "Hey, I thought you had that dinner thing with your husband tonight." "He left me," I blurted out. "Gregory's gone. Moved to London. Filed for divorce." Derek's face went through several expressions before landing on something that looked like panic. "Oh, wow, wow. But it's okay," I said quickly. "I mean, it's not okay, but maybe it's for the best? We love each other, right? Now we can really be together." He ran a hand through his hair. That gesture I'd found so charming, now looking like he wanted to pull it out. "Rachel, Come in. We should talk." The talk was short, brutal, efficient, like ripping off a bandage if the bandage was your entire future. "I thought we were just having fun," he said, sitting across from me at his kitchen island, like we were having a business meeting. "I mean, you're married." "We're married. This was supposed to be casual. But you said you loved me." "I did. I do. But not like move in together and meet my parents' love. More like I love this thing we had. So what are you saying?" He sighed. "I'm saying I think we should take a break." This is a lot. You need to figure out your situation, and I just need some space. Space. The word every woman in history has known means, "I'm done with you, but trying to be nice about it." The next months were a blur of reality crashing down. Derek stopped responding to my texts after a week. I saw on Instagram that he was dating someone new within the month, a 28-year-old yoga instructor who looked like she'd never had a complicated thought in her life. The other men faded away just as quickly. Without the thrill of sneaking around, without the safety net of a husband at home, I was just another single woman in her late 30s. The market, as it turns out, is not kind to women my age without the exotic appeal of being unavailable. The house, too big and too expensive on just my salary as a marketing coordinator, became a weight around my neck. 4 bedrooms for one person, a kitchen designed for dinner parties I no longer hosted, a master bathroom with a tub for 2 that I sat in alone, drinking wine and crying. The mortgage company didn't care that I was finding myself. The 6 months Gregory had given me flew by. I tried to refinance, but my $68,000 salary wasn't enough for a $400,000 house. I put it on the market, praying for a quick sale, but the roof needed repairs. The foundation had issues Gregory had been planning to address. He'd had a whole spreadsheet about home maintenance. I'd made fun of him for it. Every showing brought lower offers. The first couple loved the neighborhood but thought it was overpriced. The second found problems with the electrical. The third made an insulting offer that my realtor wouldn't even present. Meanwhile, the bills kept coming. Electric, gas, water, HOA fees I didn't even know we paid because Gregory handled all that. I sold everything I could. The dining room set we'd picked out together went for a quarter of what we paid. The sectional sofa where we'd watched 1,000 documentaries. The bedroom furniture we'd saved for 2 years to afford. Piece by piece, I sold off our life together until the house echoed with emptiness. My sister Melissa helped me move into my current apartment 4 months ago. She flew in from San Diego, where she now lived with her National Geographic boyfriend in a house overlooking the ocean. Her disapproval was heavy in every box she carried. "I don't understand," she said, looking around at the water-stained ceiling, the windows that didn't fully close. "You had everything. Gregory worshipped you." "It's complicated," I muttered, shoving clothes into a broken dresser I'd found on Craigslist. "No, Rachel, it's not. You had a good man who loved you, a beautiful home, a stable life. And you threw it away for what? For Derek? Where is he now? Can we not do this? We're going to do this because apparently you've lost your mind." "Do you know Gregory sent me a message before he left? He asked me to make sure you were okay. The man whose heart you broke into a million pieces was still worried about you." That broke me. I sat on the floor of my empty studio and sobbed while my baby sister held me like I'd held her when boys broke her heart in high school. Only this wasn't some teenage drama. This was my life, and I'd destroyed it with my own hands. The divorce was finalized last month. Gregory was true to his word. He didn't contest anything. Gave me everything I asked for, which wasn't much considering I'd already lost the house and had to sell most of our things. The papers came from a law firm in London. No personal note, no forwarding address. Like 14 years had been a dream I'd woken from. I found his new Instagram by accident last week. I'd been pain-scrolling through Bethany's feed. She's dating another married man now, posts cryptic quotes about complicated love. When Gregory's face appeared in a tagged photo. He looks different, lighter. The London Gregory has lost weight, grew a beard that actually suits him, wears clothes that fit properly instead of baggy polos. There are pictures of him at pubs with colleagues who look like they actually enjoy his company. Hiking in Scotland, something he'd mentioned wanting to do for years, but I always said was too boring. Smiling at markets that probably remind him of our Saturdays, except now he's buying flowers for himself or someone else. In one photo, there's a woman next to him at what looks like a company event, pretty in that understated British way, laughing at something he said. They're not touching, but something about how they're looking at each other made my stomach drop. She's wearing a dress I recognize, one I donated to Goodwill because Derek said it made me look like a librarian. I've applied for jobs in London. 23 of them, to be exact. Marketing positions I'm qualified for, positions I'm overqualified for, positions I'm underqualified for but thought maybe, just maybe. The applications go unanswered. I've written him letters, sent them to his company hoping they'd forward them. Long rambling things about how sorry I am, how I understand now, how I'd do anything for another chance. If they reached him, he never responded. Bethany doesn't call anymore. The last time we talked, she was complaining about how her married boyfriend wouldn't leave his wife for her. Some people just can't let go of security, she said without any irony. They'd rather stay in their boring marriages than take a chance on real passion. I wanted to scream. Wanted to tell her that security isn't boring, it's everything. That passion fades, but someone who brings you tea and assembles furniture and waits up when you're out with another man is worth more than all the Dereks in the world. But she wouldn't understand. She's still in the before. I'm living in the after. My days now are work, home, sleep. I make $70,000 a year, but after rent, car payment, and the credit card debt I accumulated trying to maintain my old lifestyle, there's nothing left. I eat ramen like I'm in college again, the cheap kind that's mostly salt and regret. I spend Friday nights alone, scrolling through social media, watching my old friends' lives continue without me. The book club found a new member. They're reading Eat, Pray, Love this month, the irony not lost on me. The farmer's market happens without us. Someone else posted a photo of sunflowers from our vendor. Antonio's pizza place closed. Gregory would be devastated. Sometimes I try to date. I create new profiles with carefully angled photos, ones that hide the exhaustion in my eyes. Men message, we chat, occasionally meet. But when they ask about my past, my divorce, why I'm 37 and starting over, I don't know what to say. The truth makes me look terrible. I had a perfect marriage and destroyed it because I was bored isn't exactly a selling point. Lies feel worse. Last Tuesday would have been our wedding anniversary. 12 years. I spent it interviewing for a second job at Target and trying not to cry in my car afterwards. They asked about my availability, and I said I could work any hours they needed. The 22-year-old interviewing me looked at my resume, confused. You have a degree in marketing? And you're applying for overnight stocking? I need the money, I said simply. I didn't get the job. Overqualified, they said. The story of my life now. Too old for starting over, too broke for my age, too everything and not enough all at once. Gregory probably didn't even remember it was our anniversary. Why would he? He's moved on, living his best life while I'm counting quarters for gas money. He's probably taking that British woman to museums, cooking her dinner in his London flat, building a life that makes sense. Good for him. I mean that, despite how it sounds. At least one of us escaped the wreckage. I've stopped trying to find Muffin. Kelly said she gave her to a family with kids who adore her. Another life moving on without me. The eviction notice is because I'm 2 months behind on rent. $800 might as well be $8,000. I've been choosing groceries over housing, gas over electricity. Sitting in the dark isn't so bad once you get used to it. The landlord, a man who looks at me like I'm contagious, finally lost patience. I got bills too, he said when he handed me the notice. Can't run a charity. My parents offered to let me move back home to Cincinnati. The thought of returning to my childhood bedroom at 37, explaining to everyone in my hometown how I destroyed my marriage for adventures that meant nothing, makes me physically ill. But homelessness would be worse. It's just temporary, my mother says when we talk. Just until you get back on your feet. But I know better. This is my life now. This studio apartment with its cat smell and broken dresser is the best I can do. The eviction notice just makes it official. I think about Gregory every day. Not the Gregory who left. I don't know that man. I think about the Gregory who brought me Earl Grey with 1 sugar, who assembled furniture while I read instructions aloud, who held my hair when I had food poisoning, who proposed at the farmer's market because he knew I'd want our regular flower vendor to see. I think about Sunday meal prep and Friday pizza and all the tiny moments I thought were boring but were actually the whole point. Last week, in a moment of complete desperation, I called his old number. It rang once before going to a message that the number was no longer in service. Of course. Even his phone had moved on. There's no redemption here, no last-minute save where Gregory forgives me and we try again. He's gone, moved on, living proof that nice guys don't finish last. They just finish with someone who appreciates them. The men I threw him away for have forgotten my name. Derek is probably telling some new woman he loves her after concerts, and she's probably smart enough to know what that's worth. The life I thought was waiting for me out there, it was a mirage. An Instagram filter. A lie I told myself because I was too stupid to see that boring is just another word for stable. And stable is everything when you're sitting on the floor of an apartment you're about to be evicted from. Tomorrow I need to call my parents, swallow what's left of my pride, and ask to come home. Box up the few things I have left. Clothes that remind me of dates with men who didn't matter, jewelry Gregory gave me that I can't bring myself to sell, photo albums I can't look at, and drive back to Cincinnati with my tail between my legs. 37 years old, divorced, broke, and broken by my own choices. I wanted excitement, I wanted passion, I wanted to feel alive. I got exactly what I deserved. The crackers are stale. $7 for a box of crackers seemed expensive 6 months ago. Now it's a luxury. The power will be shut off next week if I can't make a payment. $143 to keep the lights on. Gregory used to round up our bills, pay an extra 20 here and there. It all adds up, he'd say. I'd roll my eyes at his frugality. Now I understand every penny adds up when you have none. My phone has a crack across the screen from when I threw it after seeing Gregory's happy photos. Can't afford to fix it. Can't afford anything. This studio apartment, with its cat smell and broken dresser and overwhelming emptiness, is the life I chose. Gregory is probably asleep right now in London, next to someone who appreciates him, in a flat with working windows and food in the refrigerator and a future that makes sense. A woman who knows that excitement isn't found in strange beds, but in familiar arms that hold you when the world falls apart. He escaped the prison I put him in, found freedom in letting me go. He won. Not that it was a competition, but if it was, he won everything. The courage to leave, the strength to start over, the wisdom to know when enough was enough. I hope he's happy. I hope that woman makes him laugh. I hope he never thinks of me at all. As for me, I'm exactly where I put myself. Alone on the floor with an eviction notice and stale crackers, in a city where nobody knows my name, paying the price for wanting more than what I had. Some mistakes you recover from. Some you carry forever. This is the second kind. The refrigerator stops humming. Even it has given up on me.